Slow. Thank for everybody tuning in to Kross TV Network. Y'all already know that's Kross with a K. I'm waiting for the big OG, Madd Ronald, to tap in from the West Coast, man. From low bottom, you definitely got a lot to say. Just waiting for a minute to tune in right quick. Sorry about this, y'all. Sorry about this. Waiting to see what's up. Sorry again. Be patient, y'all. Be patient. I'm sorry. Be patient, y'all. Waiting for Madd Ronald to tune in right now. Be waiting. Rashad Ball, slow. I see you. You say you got the homies here. That's right. Give me 1 second. Turn this light. Pardon me 1 second, y'all. Apologize, man. I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm about to call right now, see what's going on. You already know, Strap. We on depth, Flip, bro. Give me a second. Madd Ronald about to come on. We're just trying to see what's going on right now.
The voicemail box.
Keep calling, see what's going on. I know he tried. See what's going on. Apologize for this, y'all. Apologize. Y'all stay in tune. Stay in tune, y'all. He must be trying. I just sent him another text, so we're going to see what's going on, y'all. Just stay in tune, man. Stay in tune, man. I apologize. Stay in tune. But he say he's switching phones right now, so give him a second. He's switching the phone right now. So in the meantime, give me 1 brief second. Give me a brief second. So while we waiting for Madd Ronald to come on, I got a question for y'all. Those that y'all see my live just a little while ago, y'all felt what I was saying. Everything was good. How y'all felt about that? You already know, Flip, all real right, Flip. Henny hit us slow. It's right back at you, bro. See, I got it's funny what I got, right? But I know some of y'all still, you know what I'm saying, drinking all Coronas and all that. You know what I mean? Weezy Baby, slow. Yeah, I'm glad you was loving my content earlier. Yeah, it wasn't wrong what you were saying. You kept it 100. No doubt. It's all goody, bro. No doubt. Salute. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate Black Wall. Slow. Yeah, we waiting on Madd Ronald right now. We waiting on Madd Ronald to start. You know what I'm saying? I apologize for that. I definitely apologize, man. Basically, man, there's a lot of different, misconceptions with the East and West thing. A lot of misconceptions, a lot of different feelings about past guests on different platforms where we try to sit down, and we did sit down and talk about a lot of things and whatever have you, man. But we're going to deal with some more we're going to do it with some more official brothers on the West. Y'all should know the name who I'm talking about already when I say Madd Ronald. I don't know why he can't get in contact. I just got a message from him right now. I'm gonna see what's going on. I'm gonna just tell him so he go hold on. Man.
The voicemail box of 3.
Yeah, he's texting me. He's texting me. He's texting me. You know, seeing what he telling me back. All right, he just said he just sent it to him. So he said he just sent him the link. So he should be tuned in. He should be live in a second, man. Come on, I know y'all being patient. I appreciate all y'all that's being patient. You know, just bear with him. Just bear with us 1 second. Give me 1 second. He ain't come on yet. In the meantime, what y'all want to talk about in the meantime in regards to, you know, the East and West situations, you know, any misconceptions or whatever. And I'm saying I'm gonna just do this or whatever instead of us just sitting around waiting. We already 7 minutes in or whatever, you know, the brother can't get on right now for some reason. Hope everything go good. This right here gonna be epic, man. Yeah, definitely need this type of structure. That's a fact. Well, Sean Bourne, what's your question, beloved? Rashad Bourne, Santana Block. What's up? What's your question, beloved? Oh, he said the barbershop opened back up. There's hella guys out here that think KK was sort of disrespectful. How do you feel about that? You know, how I feel about that is this, beloved. You know what I'm saying? They know how I give it up personally, me personally, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak for nobody else. I feel like this, man, you know, we could always get our point across without disrespecting each other. You know what I'm saying? We can disagree to agree. You know what I'm saying? Because when you know, it's all about sharing your story. You know what I'm saying? However you feel about the story, how you feel about the story. But you know, it doesn't. You know, you just because I disagree, it doesn't have to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but on the flip side of things, how I would feel about being disrespected, you know, and homies, you know, disrespecting dudes, I will feel some type of way because in the same token is a paradox because on the same hand is that, you know, what homeboy said about, yeah, you know, dude talking about his hood, you know, his set name is Sex Money, and then I'm gonna call a dude sex, you know what I'm saying? That's the name of their hood. You know what I'm saying? All of the sex money is not even blood. So, that was a total disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Not to throw Chicago or nobody else involved in this, but you got a notorious gang in Chicago called Gay Lords, B. And they notorious. You know what I mean? You're not gonna call them what they are because that's their names. You know what I'm saying? You call people what they want to be called. You know what I'm saying? So, but disrespect, no matter who it is, you know what I'm saying? I don't really tolerate that. You know what I'm saying, beloved? But at the end of the day, certain dudes move a certain way for certain reasons. Certain shit is justified, certain things may not be. You know what I mean? But, we got people on both sides, on all sides, you know what I'm saying, that, have that same type of temperament. You know what I mean? Neighborhood 20s, respect goes a long way, and it should be mutual, no matter what state or coast. That's the whole fact. It gotta be mutual. It's funny because a lot of things that we experience and go through as men or in society, they all learned behaviors. Because when we first come out the womb and we're children, we don't have no understanding or sense of color, nationality, or nothing like that. And when you hear one baby cry, they all start crying. They all just unify. So our nature is not to be disrespectful, nothing like that. Our nature is to be empathetic, you know what I'm saying, and empathize with each other and stuff like that. But at the same token, again, we could always agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying, E Neil, salute to Compton. You already know Compton always show me mad love. I ain't even gonna hold you. Always. Trying to see who else is here because I'm wondering why. Because there's other homies supposed to be coming through too. I don't want to say their name because they want it to be a surprise. You know what I mean? But I'm not seeing why I can't why they ain't come on or why they couldn't come on yet. So I already had sent the link. So I'm about to text him right now. But at the same time, we could always still continue to talk. You know what I mean? Until what I'm saying, Madd Ronald and all them do be able to make it on here. We can still definitely vibe. You know what? It takes a strong individual, a strong person. All right, I'm about to send him the link right now. I'm letting them know I'm resending it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm about to resend it. Give me 1 second. I'm about to resend the link to him. Yeah, I just sent it again, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully everything should be good. I just let him know I sent it to the email just now again. So he should be able to get it. He should be able to be coming on now. But they said the other link that I sent or whatever case may be, it wasn't letting them go through. So let him know to check his email. But hopefully coming on now because I just sent the email. So Rashad Bourne, Kev Max spoke highly about you to my big homie OG Rockhead. Yo, I appreciate that, beloved, for letting me know that, man. I got a lot of respect for Kev Mack, man. You know, very knowledgeable, very humble, and everything like that, man. You know, and they say the eyes is the windows to a man's soul, to a person's soul. You know what I'm saying? And I looked in his eyes, man, you know, I know, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's like looking in the mirror, you know what I mean? So, you know, much respect to him. And I definitely want to do something else with Kev Mack too, as a matter of fact, 'cause I do have his contact information. So I will be calling him and talk to him and, you know, get something going on. Here go the big homies here. Finally, man. Ronald was in the building. Salute, beloved. Appreciate you for tuning in. Enough respect. Y'all see him? Y'all see him?
You on YouTube. Okay. All right. I can hear you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You in here.
Okay. What's up, man? What's going on?
How you doing? Ain't nothing. First and foremost, man, I want to say I appreciate you for coming on the platform. I appreciate you for reaching out. You know, I done heard of so much great things about you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finally glad that I've been told you. We can sit down, chop it up, and build on all aspects and virtues, man. I got nothing but love and respect for you. Salute. Those that don't know that who just tuned in, that's none other than OG Madd Ronald. You know what I'm saying? You want to say something to them, OG?
Yeah, I'm Madd Ronald. I'm OG Madd Ronald from MaddRonaldRadio.net and OG Madd Ronald from Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods out here in West Adams, Los Angeles. And I myself personally, I'm just I'm thankful that you invite me on your platform, man. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that, you know, it's like I feel that it's time that we should be at a point to where we can be able to build, man, and try to be constructive on a level to where we can gain some understanding, because there's been so many misconceptions between the East and the West that people don't even have an understanding of what is what, instead of all the competition. Because I'm from back East. That's the funny thing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm from Rochester. I've been in LA, man, since 1968, man. I was born in 67. I'm from Rochester, New York. I go to New York all the time. Okay. You know what I mean? I got a big family back there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm gonna start this conversation off because it's real. I've been reading the comments and a lot of people been asking me a lot of things, but I was waiting for it to make the connection to get it started. But I kind of briefed you on what I wanted to tell you in that conversation that I was privileged to have you and have with you last week sometime.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of things that I see that goes on between East and West is that people don't understand our story, and that a lot of us from the East, I noticed, you know what I'm saying, try to impress individuals by telling y'all history. You know what I'm saying? And you know, y'all done lived that history. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you went through, and you know what I'm saying, just to be able to get good with you. For you to understand my way, you need to understand my history as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so in between that, you know, y'all learn about certain sets or whatever, and then this is where a lot of people get offended from, because some people say, oh, well, they're brims or they're this and they're that. And you know, but some of them not connected or, you know, whatever have you, or so we can't embrace it, we can't embrace that. So from an East Coast standpoint, from my perspective, you know, it wasn't even that situation at all. So I'm gonna give you my story, what links me intimately with you and Walt D. Right? Okay, so it was a situation where we already know the situation with OG Mac. OG Mac went home, and then when OG Mac went home, you know, everything was chaos, you know, structure and everything, whatever case may have you.
Right, right.
So in the you know, I don't want to go really too deep into that, so I'm gonna just keep it on me, right?
Right.
So in that process, you know, me being Brim and everything, we started our own army in opposition to everything that was going on and defend what it is that we know Bremen to be over here.
Right.
So now me being locked up and me being sentenced to 20 years in prison for me doing what I did with the banging thing or whatever, you know, I incorporated them years into the name of my set, right?
Right.
Which was 20, right? And then, you know, us being this that never happened over here in New York before, because how it was formed in jail by a handful of people and days who dished out the hood, and then that's how it grew, whereas it was the other way around in LA. So when this happened, you know, we was outlaws, so we took on that moniker. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing the in-depth history on what was going on, and that it was ironically an original Outlaw 20 out there. So
right.
From the outside looking in, y'all were, you know, not most of y'all, but I mean not all of y'all, but some may feel like, you know, well, dude just heard the name and took our name and this, that, and the other, boom, boom, when it was the other way around. So when I heard about, you know, when I started really getting real deep into the history out in LA and learning it was existing, I felt it was destined for us to, you know, be in communication and, you know, me, you know, share what was going on and, you know, and so forth and so on. So I just wanted to know, you know, on your take on that, because I do know that you might have some type of people that felt some type of way, like, oh, you know, people just stole our joint. They're not trying to get into them. Some people might be disrespectful, so forth and so on.
To be realistic with you, man, you talking 3,000 miles away. And the reality of that is that all of this was going on long before it hit New York, because you got Bloods and Crips in the North, in the South, the Midwest, from the dope game, from when we was kids growing up. There were, most everybody in LA come from down south, really. So when it started getting crazy in LA, a lot of the parents was trying to save their kids, and the kids might have already been on the set. The kids would go back to wherever they came from, and they'll turn out the whole damn town, and everybody there banging the LA set. You understand what I mean? It just got the way it is because New York had such a big movement. That's the only thing. In reality, I look at it like this here. If y'all doing it and y'all doing it in a righteous manner on your own behalf, then it can't be nothing to be said about it. Because see, believe me, I had this conversation of fake Bloods and real Bloods and all this shit here, right? And this is my reality on that. There can be no fake blood because there's no fake funerals. When they putting people in the ground that's dying from this here, that's getting murdered behind this. When homies is going to jail doing life sentences because they doing what they believe they're supposed to be doing for this, right? None of that's fake. That's all real. That's all reality right there. So there's no way in the world to call what's real and what's fake. It's a different struggle on either side. They're just like how y'all went Rikers Island, y'all had to deal with the Latin Kings and the situation there was, right? And it was the way it was. LA County Jail was that way because in our county jail, it was 15 Crips to 1 Blood. You see what I'm saying? So no matter how we look at it, blood evolved from a struggle. You see what I'm saying? And that's a common denominator right there that nobody can deny. You know what I mean? When I was young going to prison, we would go to prison, man, and it'd be 4 Bloods on the yard. It might be 80 Crips on the yard. You see what I mean? So no matter how it turns out, I'm pretty sure you guys had a struggle like that also dealing with y'all oppositions. You see what I'm saying? So no matter who it is, no matter how it is, you know what I mean? The way it's got to be viewed is it all derived from coming up and rising up out of an oppression. It all came from having to be able to stand your ground and let them know we are here, we ain't going nowhere. You see what I mean? So when you say that, when you ask that question like that there, you know what I mean? My reality with that, when we're talking about, like how you say the outlaw brims, you know what I mean? It's just something that you didn't know. You understand what I mean? It was just, it's a coincidence. That's what it is. But that's a coincidence. You know what I mean? And that's all you can take it as. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that to be honest and truthfully real with you, people in LA ain't concerned with what's going on 3,000 miles away.
Right.
The only reason I'm so informed is because, like I said, I'm from back east. So
right.
When I go back home, I got relatives that are involved back there. You see what I'm saying? I got relatives in Rochester that are involved in it. You know what I mean? So when I walk around Rochester and I see the Bloods and they see me, you know what I mean? They want to talk. They want to sit down and have these conversations. Well, believe me, I was in Rochester. I lived in New York from 04 to 06.
Okay.
I was in upstate. I was in Rochester, New York City, and I was in New Jersey for 2 years. I was just back and forth, up and down the state, over in New Jersey for 2 straight years, right? And it was interesting to me because it's just the fact that the ideology was so different, because the way the Bloods view each other, it was just so different. See, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. The Blood movement is so strong back there that y'all had the capability and the power to be able to control everything. And I don't mean in a violent manner. There are so many Bloods. I'm gonna show you something. Like me, I always tell people this. I'm in a higher level of thinking, and I always practice thinking in the higher science things.
Right.
If you ever imagined if all of the Bloods that were eligible to vote and their supporters actually took to the ballot, right?
Right.
You would be able to change the conditions in your community. If everybody, for all those Bloods, if you ever think about it, if they all utilize their ability to vote, because this is the key right here. Could you imagine if there was a march, let's say the city hall, right?
Right.
Let's say this, we ain't even gonna say this Bloods. Let's just say gang members is eligible to vote and their supporters, right?
Right.
Now watch this. If you say, okay, we're gonna have a march and it's a legitimate march, we got permits, we walking straight to City Hall. And when you get to City Hall, what they're gonna do in City Hall is they're gonna panic, they're gonna lock the doors, the police gonna come out on the front steps, they're gonna look at all these gang members out here, they're gonna be in a major crisis, right? But this is what's gonna happen is you're gonna have an opportunist in the house, and he gonna look at all them numbers outside, and he gonna see the voting power out there, and he gonna want to come out and talk. This is when you have the opportunity to present a petition. This is what we want. This is what we need, because we have the ability to put somebody in office. We also have the ability to block the vote and keep your ass out of office. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
See, that's the kind of power I look at right there. You know what I mean? Because in reality, all that other bullshit is bullshit. We talk about violence. That shit ain't nothing, because shit, we've been killing each other forever, man. You know what I mean? And in reality, we diminishing our own numbers. You see what I'm saying? We look at the world for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's real powerful what you said, man. I appreciate that, because I just did a live and I was speaking about that, because some people feel like there's no power in marching and, let's do this and let's do that. All right, so you go out, do this and do that. Whoever is left standing that's not dead is going to be in prison. So now we create another crisis, generational crisis gap with the strong black males out there in the field, because we dead in prison because we made a wrong decision. Like, it's certain things we can get done, and there's a process that can go to that could lead up to certain things. But at the end of the day, we must be active in the communities, because at the end of the day, all the gangs and the tough dudes reach the points that supposed to be the vanguards, man. Because it's crazy how our woman is the most disrespected, and it's like we talk about Black Lives Matter and everything, but it seems like it only matter when white people kill us, whether it's a police or another white man in what we consider a racial situation. But look at all these murder capitals that people glorify, what they not realizing, or or is maybe not conscious of, is the fact that you're glorifying when your brother died, when you cried at his wake. You cried at the wake, but you're glorifying it. Or we glorifying it, and then at the end of the day, but we be sitting here recording when we getting murdered in front of us. We sitting there recording it. Nobody's doing no petitioning, like you said. And it's like it's really no unity, because it's like sometimes I feel like when I walk amongst my own, I like when a dog see another dog, it gets excited, it gets on alert and everything. And it's like it becomes like that moniker amongst ourselves. And, you know, in order for us to unify, we got to begin to trust. In order for us to begin to trust, man, we got to start moving and taking responsibility and stop blaming everything that's going on and realize that we could do anything we motherfucking can, just like people that's coming from other countries coming over here owning everything. You know what I mean?
Right. You're right about that. And see, I'm gonna tell you something that I tripped off of right now. California state prisons, some of the most racial, most prejudiced places you can ever be in. I'm talking about it is so racial in California prisons that when I say racism, I'm talking about you ain't even talking to a white person. You're not, if a Southern Mexican, you and this dude can't even have a conversation because you know Southern California, Northern California, they got the Southern Mexicans in Southern California and the Northern Mexicans in Northern California. And the Southern Mexicans, they ally with the whites, and the Northern Mexicans ally with the blacks. So the way our prisons are, you know, it's racial, right? But there's a lot of racism that goes on in the prisons. And the thing I came to the greatest realization of doing time. Now, I've been to prison 5 times out here.
Right.
The greatest realization that I came to, and I came to this realization is that we in jail and we fighting with the Mexicans and the whites, and we talking about we doing this for our race. We talking about we doing this for our people. We talking about we do this because we love who we are. But how can we love who we are when we left our black women and our black children out here by themselves to fend for themselves? You see what I'm saying? See, on an overall level, you know, the way that I view things is that I see the world from a whole nother perspective. You know what I mean? But then again, it's through the experience also of having lived it and been there.
Right.
See what I'm saying? People have to have an understanding and a perspective of that. You know, it's like we live through a certain perspective of things. We only know what we're taught until we experience it.
Right.
You know, when I was growing up, everybody glorified prison. So when I went to Solidad, I thought I made it. I thought I graduated. I said, shit, I got to Solidad. I was like, hell, what am I going to San Quentin or Folsom next? You know what I mean? This is the way I'm thinking.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I come to the realization as I got older that I was totally brainwashed. You see what I'm saying? And I come to the realization of being brainwashed simply because of the fact that if I knew all those years I had in me to do time, my ass would have been in USC, UCLA. My ass would have been somewhere at Howard University, somewhere gaining a degree instead of a prison record. You know what I mean? And I always try to encourage the young people always. Don't waste your time with that bullshit talking about trying to be tough because everybody ain't tough. 90% of these motherfuckers ain't tough enough to live through the situations that they put themselves in. 90% of these people that's trying to relive these the old legacies of these motherfuckers that died trying to be tough will just die also or go to prison for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, we live in a space, man, where it's kind of crazy. But see, also we glorify the wrong things. You know what I mean? Think about it. We live in a culture, we glorify a motherfucker coming out of a maximum security penitentiary rather than glorifying somebody just came out of an HBCU. You see what I'm saying? Rather than we look at somebody that come out of Pelican Bay, but we'll ignore somebody that comes out of a historically black college or university. You see what I'm saying? This guy right here got the ability to change the world now. This is the guy that we've been waiting on. We ignore him totally. You know what I mean? We won't even celebrate him, but the homie come out the pen, we'll take the homie to the swap meet, dress him and everything.
Big homie, pardon me 1 second.
Yes,
OG, we got Lady YG about to come on too.
Okay.
Hello?
Slow. How you doing?
What's bragging?
Hey, us never them. You know, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Kross TV Network. You know, we got the big homie OG Madd Ronald on tapped in with us. You know, thank you for tuning in. You let everybody know who you be.
I'm Lady YG from 6 Deuce Brown.
Peace, blood.
So what y'all got going on? Like, I was just invited to this. Like, what's the topic?
Oh, now the topic is basically, man, you know, it's been a lot of talk going on about, you know, East and West, you know, real and fake, discrepancy between East and West, you know, so we came on a platform to, you know, not talk about the differences, but, you know, talk about us and how well, just basically give your own opinion and everything. But we just keeping it grown, and everybody's giving their opinion on their take and their history and their experience on how they feel about it, why they feel about it.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, my take is if we're gonna do the game banging on the East and West Coast, like it gotta be the rules and guidelines, the protocols need to be followed. While I know it's different politics, some of this stuff just is just stupid, you know?
Right,
Like the internet gang banging, like that's just dumb for any coast to be doing that. For any hood, any person to be broadcasting your hood business on the internet, you know what I mean? And
right,
all this people dubbing everybody and doing this and doing that, and you know what I mean? It's protocols. Like we supposed to go to headquarters and have a hood meeting and have DPs and all that old stuff. And the way I see it is, if you're on the East Coast banging a West Coast hood, it shouldn't be a I don't want to follow these protocols. I'm over here, like because you're banging this thing. So it needs to be some. You see what I'm saying?
right.
On both sides, and when it's time to clean up and get all the trash out the situation, then everybody got to be with that from every hood, coast to coast. You see what I'm saying? If we're going to do it. Because right now it's being made a mockery of.
Right.
And that ain't bull. It's a lot of people on both sides, but especially from where it started, that done died for this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we disgracing them. Even people on my side on the West Coast, because I'm from LA. See what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
sitting in the Peblos right now. You know what I mean? But I'm from the Deuces. Like we disgracing it as the generations go on, as it get wider and bigger with no structure. And that can't be. You can't meet somebody on the phone or on the internet and I'm in tune with Whoopty Whoop on either side. Because people talking to people on the West Coast and they talking to busters. And then you got people on the West Coast talking to people on the East Coast thinking they official and they busters. So we just gotta kind of get it together and stay off the internet with actual hood politics. Like that's my take on it.
I definitely agree. That's deep right there. For those that might be wondering or might be curious, coming from a female, gangbanger from LA, what is it like being a female involved in a gang?
I mean, different people have different experiences. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
born and raised in my set. My mom's, my pops, my
Right.
stepdad, my grandmother, my Hispanic grandmother, her dude was the homie OG pimping from the set. You know what I mean? So this all I know. Aunties, uncles, even my little brothers is banging this shit. So I'm not like a lot of the females that fuck with dudes and they just in the spots getting tossed up or just out here fighting females. For me, it was just like a nigga banging. You feel me? I'm out here with the homies. I'm doing my thing. I'm gonna run up on you probably faster than a homie. Like for me, I'm on Vermont gang banging. I'm in the set where I used to be. I'm older now, so I'm a mommy now. But it was different for me. I'm a tomboy. Or at least I was. I was in the streets like I was knocking niggas out here in these streets.
Right.
So my experience basically was the same experience as niggas because I kept and I'm gonna be respected. Oh
Yeah.
my bad. I'm gonna be respected no matter what. Being a gangster just kind of like running my blood. Like they call me a bully out here. So, for me, it was the same experience that men have.
Right.
So, that's what that is right there. But I got homegirls that had heart issues, being tossed up and all of that.
Right. Because I also know and heard, well, I not know, but I heard that it was also incidents like when you come up with an enemy, you know what I'm saying, op or whatever have you, and sometime if they caught a female, whatever, they would get victimized. You know what I'm saying? Sometime it wouldn't be in a violent way, but would it be in a sexual way? You ever heard incidents like that before?
New text message from +13105073643.
They blowing me up right now. Nah, I personally don't know about that. When I ran across enemies, we shot it out. We
Right.
fought it out. Or they looked at me and smiled and said they wanted me from their hood. Because I was active. Like, like I said, different people have different experiences. I don't know anybody who ran across
New
an
text
enemy
message from
and got
Steven.
raped.
Bonus son.
I don't know about none of that. You know what I mean? Like, a nigga gonna dome you regardless. And
Right.
that's what I know about.
So from a mother perspective, how you still look at the lifestyle the same, would you want your children involved, speak about that.
Um, I'm 36 years old, so I look at the lifestyle completely different. I'm on some been there, done that. It's changed drastically. My 17-year-old, he want to bang real bad. He want to be from the set. I keep my kids about the set. I don't live in LA, man. I'm gonna do some dirt in LA, and I'm gonna go sit somewhere some hours away, chilling, comfortable with my kids. You know what I mean? Not gonna
Yeah.
have my kids in the mist. I had them in the mist before, and it wasn't a good thing. So the way I see it is too watered down for me to even be involved right now. There's too many snitches in this world. Like, you got way too many 6ix9ines. Too many people glorifying the people that's telling. Too many people glorifying the Nipsey Hustles, the ones that's getting shot. You know what I mean? I come from an era. I'm gonna glorify the motherfucker who shot you and killed you,
Right.
and people ain't seeing it that way. You know what I mean? It's the he didn't tell on me, or he turned down a fade, but it's okay. He can't fight anyway. Like, I don't come from none of that, so I see the lifestyle completely different. And I'm just trying to live for my kids. And when I gotta come outside and play, it's all bad. I'm gonna come tear this shit down. You see what I'm saying? So, but I try to school my young ones to do what they gotta do to where they really don't need me.
Right. Yeah, sis, that's real right there. And I definitely feel you because I turned 45 Thursday, so I definitely feel you on that. And I'm a grandfather. I did a little over 20 years, but my last bid, I did 19 and a half. You know what I mean? So I have still a lot of developing and rebonding with my kids and stuff like that from what I took away and everything, man. So that's why I be so focused on, the youth right now and everything, because things are so watered down and, people being misused and, at an all-time rate out here. There's a little trend going on right now. It's getting a little wild out here right now. Everybody turning around and killing each other. But, y'all claim to be the gangsters, you claim to be that, but, you're not out here being a vanguard protecting your community. Instead, you sitting here videotaping, individuals killing us and these police doing everything. And it's like, like I told Madd Ronald, was like, that we spoke about, is like it seems like black lives only matter when a white person, somebody kill us, or as a racial motivated crime that, we believe it to be. So
I mean, that's definitely a fact right there. I say that all the time. You know, I'm with the movement of let's start killing these white people and these police officers that's killing us. I'm with that. You know what I mean? I don't really see the point in killing another black man or another black woman at this point in life, because all we doing is killing each other off for these people. We
right,
dumber than what we think we are. We look dumber than what we think we look. We want to blame the media, but it's us doing the shit. Like, they scared of us. They teach us that we're inferior and they're superior. But the thing is, if you inferior to me, there's no need for me to be intimidated by you. There's no need for me to try to convince you that I'm superior, because you already know. So by their actions for hundreds of years teaches us that we're superior to them.
right.
Period. When you look at history, you look at everything. Once you start really learning, not the white man history, but when you start learning real history, all this shit came from us. We did all of this, and they took it because we were slaves and we didn't have no power. They're afraid of us taking our power back. So let's go kill these motherfuckers. I'm full-fledged with that movement.
Right. Part of the background, they over here riding motorcycles all through here, a whole bunch of them riding around in motorcycles or whatever. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Madd Ronald, thank you for your patience, man. You've been silent and everything. Know you probably got something you want to add and say.
Well, man, I look at something I always say, man, we ourselves, we gotta think in a higher state of mind and not think in the mind state of being gang members. See, we call ourselves gangs. We ain't doing shit but putting ourselves in the lower science. A gang member ain't nothing but a bunch of juvenile delinquents that come together for the purpose of committing crime. We'll never evolve into the point to where we ourselves will be self-sufficient, able to take care of the communities and be that vanguard as long as we think like gangs. See, and one of the biggest things that's a mistake is everybody constantly thinks about repeating the mistakes that were made in Los Angeles. So everybody want to gang bang and shoot everybody and all this here. They always talk about the mistakes that were made here, but they don't understand the hardship that went with this. You see what I'm saying? I be telling people, man, I have been from the set since 76. I'm going on 53 right now. Now, the thing about it is that I've been to over probably 250, 300 funerals. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. If that repeats itself again, imagine what that toll is on the black population just within my experience. One person living that experience all over again. That's over 600 dead people, over 600 black people dead. You understand what I mean? We ourselves, man, we got to think in much higher science, man. We got to think about what can we do to advance? You understand what I mean? I look at things on a level to where, and I tell everybody this always, what we need to be doing is we need to be buying up real estate. We need to be coming together. We need to be actually coming together and thinking and creating greater plans to survive on, because of the fact that, see, once you create a plan, you can create a system on that plan, right? And this is just me. I tell everybody, if you don't own the real estate, you ain't got no hood, because they're gentrifying everywhere in America. So, if they're gentrifying, then that means that the only person that falls victim to that is the tenant. The landowner's happy because it raises the cost of real estate. So if we're not buying nothing, then we ain't talking about nothing. You understand what I mean? We on corners dying. We dying hollering, this is my hood. But when you stand on that corner, that landowner is going to call the police and they will come push your ass off that corner, take you to jail, whatever. You understand what I mean? We have to be smart enough to come about with some other things. You understand what I mean? And it's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like I say, when I was back east, it was interesting to me being back east. You know what I mean? And the thing about it that was interesting to me was that it was just observing the way that everybody was there, because everybody, like how you said, the history thing, right? Everybody was trying to find their place in history, and they would tell me any and everything related to history, to the point to where they don't even realize they're telling me lies. Or I can't say a lie. I'm gonna tell you why I can't say a lie. If somebody tells you something as a truth and you believe it to be a truth, it's not a lie to you. Am I right when I say that?
Absolutely.
If somebody tells you something and tells you it's the truth and you believe that and take it as the truth and you repeat it, that's not a lie. But I've encountered people that will say things to me, and I know that they're not, I know that they don't know what they're talking about. But at the same time, as I'm listening to them talk, you know what I mean? I'm just listening to how I'm listening to how their minds are and how they're willing to accept anything. You know what I'm saying? I have conversations with people right now, and I just trip off of them. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that I see that everybody's standing still. In other words, we're in a space, right? In a stagnant space. Blood's on the West Coast, blood's on the East Coast. We're all in a stagnant space. We're all stuck, right?
Right.
But nobody's elevating. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No one's elevating. No one's moving up. No one's working on the next tier. I always say that we ourselves, we need to be creating another tier to this here. See, even though the homie might run through the streets, go in and out the pen, after a while, he's gonna get tired of that. And right. I've seen so many homies just go on about their lives because there was nothing to come back for. But we need to be creating something on a level of revenue and economics to where we're capable of being able to tell the homie, okay, man, we don't even want you in all that bullshit no more. We finna send you to college somewhere. You finna be a fucking real estate agent or something. We finna put you in position to where now we finna play chess. We finna make you the real estate agent. You finna get us the motherfucking land now, and we finna get the money together. You understand what I mean?
Exactly.
We're gonna put our people in position to where now we got money coming in from all over the place. We got people where, and this is another thing about that. We got people to where we're getting them in these unions. See, people don't realize this. If you get your homies in the unions and you get numbers in the unions, that means you control the vote in the union, because the union is a democratic. Well, shall I say democratic? Yeah, you vote on it. It's a democracy.
Right.
You vote on things in the union. So imagine if your union consists of half of your people, you control the vote. You understand what I mean? I say these type of things because people don't think that way. You know what I mean? When I'm talking to people, they trip off of me because as a blood, they actually expect me to hear me talk another way. They actually expect to hear me talk a bunch of gang banging shit. But I always explain to people that shit right there is so far past. I'm 40 something years in. I'm 45 years in. Shit. I'm where I'm at in the world right now. I'm looking at building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm looking at to the point to where we need to be building, just like the East and the West. The one thing that we are all in position to do, man, is build bridges. See, there's no room for conversation if it's not solution based.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's no room, because in reality, there are no issues. 3,000 miles away. How often that's like me here out there. How often do I run into a blood from 9 Trey, a GKB, something like that there? If I see one, I'm shocked as ever to see him. And I'm like, oh, blood, what's up? How you doing, homie? You know what I mean? Bloods that come out of the LA, you know what I mean? I'm taking bloods to the hood with me, you know what I mean? And it gave him an opportunity to come and hang out. You know what I'm saying? I've actually given him the chance to come out and hang out and kick it with us. You know what I mean? See how we live and how we get down. You know what I mean? But my reality is that when we think about it, when we talk about it, you know what I mean? My true reality of this is that this whole thing right here, you know what I mean? It's really, it should be based upon this solution-based conversations. The people need to be in place to build the bridges in order to come about with the solutions to solve the problems. There are no problems, to be real with you, right? It's just like how you just said a minute ago about how about the outlaw brims, right?
Right.
In reality, there's no problems. You understand what I mean?
Right.
In reality, it's a misconception. But
right.
where's the problem at there? You understand what I mean? It's a misconception because that's two different sets right there. You know what I mean? Right. But the reality of that is that there is no actual problem there. You know, understand what I mean? And people will interpret things that way, and they will inflate them to be more than what they are if you grant them that opportunity.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you said, but see, it's like I also know that you know, life is about perception. You know, and the things that our experiences teach us. Because you know, a lot of time blind, and you know, when it came to a lot of things that we was dealing with, really was no etiquette, man. You know, we was living with this called or recognized as savage life. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's all about, you know, we can't be weak. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to put on for the hood. You know what I mean?
Right.
Excuse me. I don't know how I just did something. Let me get back on here. I don't know what I just did and why did I just do it, but it was done. Hold on.
I can still see you.
Oh, you can still see me?
I can hear you and see you.
Okay, I got it. I was blocked off for a minute. There's a couple of people that have been hitting, trying to get our attention, but I ain't want to you to stop what you were saying, and some people want to donate and everything. So I just wanted to shout them out and everything real fast. Okay, Rashard Barnes, salute. Kross, Ronald speaking facts. On one side of the closest dudes I had was from 92nd Inglewood family on outside. We wouldn't even spoke. Oh yeah, basically saying we was locked up, like, you know, if the circumstances was different, he wasn't even in prison, dude wouldn't even be speaking.
Right.
You know, and that was kind of like I was telling I had this dude Nino Cappuccino on here. We was on a different platform, and I was telling him that, and he was, you know, because I was telling him that, you know, basically because he was saying like, you know, he was there when UBN started, or he helped start UBN with Peabody and everything like that. And I, you know, letting him know that same common denominator that you reach from off top. I was getting him to break down, you know, getting him to understand, but he didn't agree. But then when he broke it down, he only was basically saying the same thing.
Well, like I said, through the oppression. See, but this is, let me tell you the thing about us as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not even, this far outside of the blood situation. In times of oppression, we ourselves, we will help, we will heal, we will feed each other. You understand what I mean? We will nurse each other back to health. But in times of power, we will separate, we will turn on each other, and we will eat each other. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the things, because of the fact that, see, this is the thing. There is no, how do I want to say? There was no end game as Bloods. Like, great example with you guys. Nobody came up with an end game for a 50-year-old Blood. You understand what I mean? Nobody came up with an idea for a 50-year-old Blood, for a plan. See, after you get so old, all that street shit don't even fall in your realm, because now you get so old. That's like me, man. I got grandchildren. Shit, I got my kids are grown, and I got grandkids. You know what I mean? So that's like me right now. You know what I mean? I sit back and I can't even hang with my little homies because they younger than my kids. You know what I mean? My son's 30 years old. Shit, I can't even hang with my young homies because they younger than my kids. So it's like there was no platform developed for when you get so old, right? To where, this is the thing, and I always say this, and somebody told me this here when I was doing I was a gang intervention worker here in LA. I worked for the Los Angeles Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development here. We called what we call the grid. And when I was working for the grid, somebody told me something that was so powerful. They said that this shit was developed by a bunch of adolescents. So the reality of that was that these was a bunch of young teenage dudes that created this, that they didn't know where they was going. Because in reality, at that point in time, you did something else after you turned 18. But in the 80s, when cocaine came in, they created the career gang member. You understand what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by the career gang member.
All right.
There was a time when you might not come back to the hood. You know, you might get out the pen and you might not come back to the hood because now you got to go take care of your family. You've been gone for years. You understand what I'm saying? So you might go take care of your family, and you might go do whatever you got to do, get a job, whatever. In the 80s, when they cut out all of the programs, when they started when they started cutting out the jobs and shit, right? And they made cocaine plentiful here in Los Angeles. That ingenious motherfucker, whoever he was, that came up with the ideology to flood Los Angeles with just like I always talk about that movie Cracking the System, that movie where they talk about Freeway Rick with Danilo Blandone. Danilo Blandone was a Sandinista, a Contra. I think he was a Contra. I'm not sure, but he was in the war in Central America, and they was flooding LA with drugs, and the money was going back to buy weapons in the Middle East. I mean, in the Middle East, excuse me, Central America. They was buying weapons in Central America, but this brilliant motherfucker here came up with the ideology, I guess, because they knew that it was nothing else. So now what happened with us was there were no jobs. So now we get out of prison, we got to feed our families. We go back to the hood now instead of going to find a job. Because now I go back to the hood, the homie gonna put me down with a bag. You understand what I mean? I've been in prison for the last 3, 4, 5 years. I get out, the homie hit me with shit, maybe 9 ounces or so. I got an opportunity to make maybe $5,000 in 2 days off of this. Go back, flip that again, make five more thousand. You know what I mean? Now I'm living like I ain't never lived before. You see what I'm saying? So now what they did was they created the career gang member, because we made careers out of being in the hood, generating our revenue from the hood, which that also enhanced the gang activity. See, the gang activity wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the United States government's agitation. People don't realize that. You understand what I'm saying? The CIA pushed that dope in here, and they gave the dope to the gang members. Then at the same time, what they did was they also gave us automatic weapons. You see what I'm saying? Outside of that, this shit would have faded away. This shit would have been fading away. Wouldn't even been half as strong. I watched a lot of little small bullshit ass gangs turn into armies.
Yeah.
Simply because out here we're so geographical that in our neighborhoods, we got actual territories. You know what I mean? And some of our territories, man, is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, when I say that, I mean some of our territories are actually big as fuck. You know what I mean? I mean, that's like you got some neighborhoods in LA that cover miles. It might be one gang, but one gang might be broken up into 5 different groups. Every half a mile might be another group. You understand what I mean? But they all consist under one umbrella. So LA is like that. So you could imagine if you got, let's just say you got one group like this and you got one main supplier in this whole community and all the revenue going back in the community. And then at the same time, this same dude is supplying the weapons. You see what I'm saying? So now you got what you got is a small army here. And LA was like that all over. That's why in the 80s, the death toll was what it was. You see what I mean? But the reality of that is the United States government is accountable. Well, I'm not going to say is accountable. I'm going to say should have been accountable for that because of the fact that all that's a truth. Just like what's his name? Gary Webb from the San Jose Mercury when he did the Dark Alliance.
Right.
And that can be found on the internet right there. Dark Alliance when he talks about that. You see what I'm saying? And the thing about that was that also what it did, it created career gang members. See, no longer were we these little young dudes that had to move on to find jobs now, get out the neighborhood and go to work because we would have been somewhere else. We'd have been tired as a motherfucker at the end of the day. We wouldn't have time to be hanging out in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Now we became something else because now we all in the hood. Now we all out here getting money. Now we all out here with guns. So when a motherfucker come through here, they ain't got no business here. Enemy come through here, they know where to go because we're on the corner. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, they doing the same thing. So now we got everybody on the corner. This might be 25 guns on one corner. So you understand what I'm saying? The violence was so heavy at that point in time. But once again, the violence was that way simply because of the United States government and their agitation. You see what I mean? Because what's the old saying they say? Ain't that what Nino Brown said? Ain't no cocaine made in Harlem.
Yeah, ain't no Uzis, but cocaine sold in Harlem, made in Harlem. Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
We do also know, for those that don't know, the history of the FBI was just a bureau of investigation until like around the late 20s, early 30s, 1930s. Then it became the Federal Bureau of Investigation under J. Edgar Hoover. Took over, and then he then formed COINTELPRO. He the one then had them carrying guns. Before they wasn't carrying guns or nothing. They was just doing investigating. That's it. He the one who got them doing arrests, carrying guns. He the one who assassinated Mark Clark and Fred Hampton. He the one who took out, a lot of mobsters. He the one who was sending Coretta Scott King pictures of Martin with other females because the COINTELPRO thing with create a snitch jacket. Talk to your neighbor, ostracize you from your neighbors, go to school, ostracize your kid from the classroom. And, so I'm definitely aware of all that, even with the, the black code laws coming in, along with the Jim Crow laws coming in. And a lot of people think that Jim Crow was an actual person, but it was actually a disrespectful term towards us.
It was a system. It was a system. Actually. Jim Crow was a system.
And one part of that system is, me being dark skinned, I should hate a light skinned brother and vice versa. If you tall, I should hate a dark skinned person. If you heavy,
Willie Lynch. That was the Willie Lynch. That was the Willie Lynch syndrome right there. That's Willie Lynch, right? And they say that Willie Lynch, the debate is, did Willie Lynch exist or not? I always say it don't matter if he existed or not, the ideology exists.
Exactly.
The ideology is heavier than anything else because people themselves, they carry the ideology. You know what I mean? And I myself personally, I can't sit up and say that I'm not guilty of that because growing up in the circumstances I grew up in, sometimes I'm like, who is this motherfucker? Why is this motherfucker looking at me? You know what I mean? I'm like, I have to come to terms of understanding, you know what I mean, what my disposition is in the world sometimes because of the fact that the first person that I look at to be somebody that might want to hurt me is if somebody look like me. And that's just simply because of my psychological programming, the way that I was programmed, you know what I mean? To where it's just crazy. But then at the same time, I also look at things on a level to where I see the world differently because when we look at the way that things are, right, and we look at the way that things are with our people, right, I also got to understand the fact that shit, we all going through the same things. You know what I mean? I understand the fact that 90% of the time that there's gang activity and violence going on, it's not because of the fact that the hood is putting in work and all this here. It's because one motherfucker had a bad day. He woke up and his mama told his ass go out there and get a job, and she on his bumper and he don't want to go home, and he got to take his anger out on somebody. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you know, to understand, to have an understanding of the whole concept is understand what's going on in the home too. Because now we live in times where, see, like I said, I was a gang intervention worker, and something I've come to a great realization of is different from when I was growing up. We live in a space now where you can go in a home, the mother and the father from the set, and the sons from the set. Shit, the brother might be from the set too.
Right.
So I had a caseload of 16 people. So I got a caseload of 16 people. I might actually go to their house or have to go to the school to check on the youngster. You know what I mean? He might be on probation or something. I'm helping him while he's on probation to keep the probation off his bumper, telling him what he got to do. But at the same time, I'm trying to talk mama and daddy into, you know what I mean? You know, this is what y'all need to be doing to help me help him, right?
Right.
Shit, mama might be drinking alcohol. Mama might be hooked on Old English 800 or something. Daddy might be smoking Sherm. You see you understand what I mean? So this is his disposition. So he's in such a fucked up disposition, and he might wish he was in jail rather than going home every night, just because of the situation dealing with what's going on at home. But this also might be what makes him the most violent person in his neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? Because he got to take his anger out on somebody. And these right here are underlying conditions that a lot of these young people deal with. See, we just see when we see them outside, right? That's all we see. We just see them outside, right? But we don't know what goes on at home. We don't know what the situation is in the household. The situation in the household is something totally different because of the fact that when you go to the household now and you look up, and I knocked on doors, man, believe me, mama come to the door, mama drunk, daddy come to the door, daddy might have a rag in his pocket. I'm sitting up. So I gotta sit here and I'm talking to them. But see, the thing about working for Grid, everybody that works for Grid is affiliated. So you know what I mean? When I was working for the Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction Youth Development, everybody was affiliated. So we worked our own communities. You understand what I mean? So 90% of the youngsters that we worked with, we already knew their families. You understand what I mean? And it was a lot easier because of the fact territorially they would assign us our caseloads. So I would be able to talk to the parents and everybody, right? But it's just a trip because when you walk in, when you see what the youngsters are dealing with, you understand what I mean? And the thing about it is, man, we got so many of these old ass motherfuckers this bad influences that talk that prison shit that fuck these young people heads up. That it's ridiculous to where the young dudes believe that this is the shit they should be doing. These young dudes will fuck up their whole lives and just they believe this is what I should be doing. This young dude will go out and fire a gun into a crowd.
I'm gonna tell you something, right? I'm gonna tell you how powerful what you just said, right? I have a relative. He's in the feds now, right? He's a big homie out here, out east and everything, right? Went to North Carolina, you know, ended up catching a homicide. No, he caught 2. While he was in prison, you know, he had some of the homies and everything kidnapped the prosecutor's child to do a swap. They end up catching, the young brothers and everything that did it and everything, got the child back. He and the Fed, other youngsters, their life is they done for that. You know where they put him at. So
right.
That's over. So, you know, it'd be things like that make you just think, it's as fast how, people could be flipping on you, man. A lot of people just, glorify because, I'm gonna give you 2 instances about the glorifying of prison from a child perspective and from a parent perspective, right? As a kid, even before I was a gang member, I was running around, doing what I was doing, shooting up neighborhood at parties and everything. I'm from the Bronx and everything. I'm originally from Hunts Point. All my life I've been based in 183rd Crescent and all that, whatever have you, not too far from Fordham Road and everything like that, right? And my mom used to always tell me, like, yo, man, I hope you just go to jail and get your stuff together, because at least I know that you're safe and I can wake up and I know where you're at. Right?
Right.
But then when I went to prison, and then I caught them extra 5 jail cases, you know what I'm saying, banging in jail and everything against the Kings and all that, she got to understand what prison was. You know what I'm saying? So now the flip side of that is you got children in the street, just like you said, that hear about me and my jail stories and everything, and they was like, yo, you know what? I could do the same thing and come out, like you said, graduate, and you come out, you tell experiment, you graduate, you come out, and that basically solidify you as being a G, right? My brother went through that. My brother did that. And he was like, yeah, you know, I can come to jail, whatever came be. And then I had to break it down to him. And I actually really screamed on him and explained to him the things that I was dealing with, what I was going through. You just see this, that, and the other, and you glorifying the fact that every time I'm coming to see y'all on a visit, I got mitts with my hands covered with shackles on. This is my visit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so now, right before the 9/11 thing happened, he was like, yo, big bro, I gotta leave the hood because, you know, the way this is going, I'm gonna either be in a gang or whatever case may be. So I want to leave. So I like, what you want to do? He like, I want to go to the army. Long story short, he went to the army. And then when he left, you know, you got to go. You could either do your first 90 days here, you know, go overseas, whatever have you.
Right.
So he started understanding things a little differently, because then he like, oh shit, I'm not even locked up or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm waiting for letters. I'm waiting for this. I'm not hearing from these people. Yo, what's up with homegirl? Yo, what's going on? And then it made him understand my situation a little different. You know what I'm saying? And then realization starting to come in. You know what I'm saying? And right now, you know, he's doing good. You know what I mean? He's doing good. When that war happened, the 9/11 thing, he was on front line because he was border. He was on border for the Vietnam, you know, North Korea and South Korea border.
Right.
Patrol.
Right.
And that thing happened. He just flew over here, but you know, he good up and jumping. You know what I'm saying, everything like that. But you know, I just wanted to share those stories because that's how powerful what you said it was. You know.
Well, the thing about it, let me tell you something, man. I've learned that sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do to help somebody is to give them a little bit of encouragement, because you can be talking to somebody, man, and you don't realize that when you give somebody a little bit of encouragement and see, I'm one of these people, man. I try to look for the best in everybody, right. Because and I try to point that out. And the reason I do that, because the good words I give you might be the only words you hear of that sort this week. Mm-hmm. You understand what I mean? If right. I might sit down and compliment you and tell you how smart you are, you might not have even realized that, because everybody around you is so negative that all they want to do is drag you down. All they want to do basically is keep you in the dirt with them. They don't want to see you rise. They want to see you, you know what I mean, get anywhere, because it's just like being in prison. You know, when you're in prison and you say, well, I ain't coming back no more. I ain't doing this no more. I'm done with this bullshit, right? But you know what everybody around you say, oh, man, you coming back, man. Shit, you know, you a convict. You understand what I mean? You let people get in your head and you start to take on this belief system. See, I remember being in prison. I mean, first time I went to the pen was 1987. The last time I got out of prison was 2008. And I went to prison 5 times in between that time. So that's a lot of in and out right there, right? But this was the point. This was the thing about that. It took me 4 times to the pen. It took me 5 times to prison to realize I ain't no convict. You understand what I mean? I used to have arguments in jail where they would tell me, and it was the dumbest argument in the world. I'm arguing with motherfuckers telling me, well, you're an inmate. I'm a convict. And this and this and this. And then I came to the great realization, you right. I am an inmate because I'm just visiting this motherfucker. When I get out, I ain't never coming back to this motherfucker no more, right? You live here. You understand what I'm saying? You the convict. You live here. Your ass will be in and out this motherfucker for the rest of your life. But this is the key. You will never be able to sustain a regular, normal, balanced life in the real world, take care of a family, and do the shit that men really do. Because in your mind is your belief that men sit in prison all fucking day with a bunch of other men. You understand what I mean?
Right.
And it's kind of crazy because once again, it's to what we believe. You know what I mean? Our thoughts are so powerful, man, that we have the ability, man, to be anything we want and do anything we want. You know what I mean? And the way the way that I am, man, I take on certain levels of thought, man, to where I believe that I can do whatever I want to do. I didn't challenge myself so many times. I didn't, even though I'm a blood. Shit, I'm a blood. Been in a million places. I done sat in the college classroom. My ass and sat, and people say, well, you can't get a job working for the city. You got a record. Man, I had a job working for the city, and my ass was going in schools working with the kids. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I was working for Grid. I was working for the Grid. I was going into the schools, working with the kids. I'm so in with the city that the city hired me because of my record. But
right.
let other people tell the story. I can't get no job because of my record. You understand what I'm saying? I'm able to walk on the school campus and able to go to the office and pull students out of the classroom and sit down and just simply take them in the room and sit down and write out reports on what you've been doing today. But the thing about that is this here. I never could do anything of that nature if I allow other people to control what I think and what I believe. You know what I mean? It was Rene Descartes said, a man thinketh so he is. And I myself personally, I'm a true believer of that there because I believe whatever I think, I am. You know what I mean? At the same time, you got to constantly challenge yourself. You see what I'm saying? And that's why when I speak of, like, we are in a great space these days. Technology is amazing, right? And it grants us the ability to where we are capable of communicating on levels to where these myths, these what I want to call it, propaganda,
Right.
the propaganda that exists. There's a lot of propaganda, and like just like once again when I was back east Coast Bloods on like West Coast Bloods. I was trying to figure out how the fuck do that work when that's 3,000 miles.
Where did this pipe coming at, right?
Hey, I'm walking around. I'm all up in New York and New Jersey, looking around like, wait, where the fuck is it? I ain't seen nobody else from LA when I was out here. So I got this propaganda, but you know, at the same time, these stories are always going to be told for the benefit of who's telling the story.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I guess that was just the way it was at that point in time. And I always tripped off of it because of the fact that it's different for me because I understand it. I understand it because I understand the politics. You know what like I say, I lived within it. So it's a difference living within it and then hearing about it. It's like when I was it's like when I was back east, right? And I said this, and I said this before on another podcast. Mm-hmm. My realization back east is that there's two kind of bloods back there, right?
Right.
Like the east side and the west side blood, right?
Right.
What you got is you got a traditionalist blood, like how you was talking about the history. Remember you was talking about the history earlier?
Right.
Okay, you got a traditionalist blood that wants to be tied into blood from its origin, from its history, right? That's the west side blood. That's actually the guy from New York City that's claiming a LA set. You see what I'm saying? Then you got the loyalist blood. The loyalist blood is the guy from New York City that's representing New York City and the East Coast. And he's representing blood on those terms. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And because I always say everybody's loyal to the homeland. You know what I'm saying? We loyal to what's outside our front doors. So there's no big differences in nothing like that there. But everybody has to always create these levels of, I don't want to say challenge. I'm gonna say everybody wants to create these levels of miscommunication.
Right.
People want to create miscommunications, but when you get down to the meat of it all, if in reality, if you call back to LA, 90% of motherfuckers in LA can't see past the street corner, can't see past the sign on the corner.
Right.
You understand what I mean? Let alone 3,000 miles away. You know what I mean? When I went back to New York, and when I was back there, man, and I actually started my set back there. And when I came back there, that's back when I was still in the streets. Oh, yeah. And the thing about it that was interesting was that, right? In the streets. I'm talking to my people back there and my people in LA. They couldn't even visualize that. Right. Because it was so far away. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's something happening 3,000 miles away. You know, the weird one thing about us as a people, we're tangible people. If we cannot reach out and touch it, if we can't see it, then we actually don't understand it and don't believe it. So you know what I'm saying? That was an interesting thing to me. And I would sit back and I would talk to Bloods, man. Believe me, I talked to so many Bloods, man. I talked to Bloods, man, and talked to me like they was people, like they was people with the People's Nation. I talked to Bloods, man, and tell me some of the other. So I actually talked to some Crips too, because my fascination, you know what I mean, is my fascination with this. I actually, as I'm moving around and I'm talking to everybody and I'm meeting people and I'm, you know what I mean, because I'm actually trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person. When I was in college, man, I was a philosophy major and I had to study critical thinking. So I had to really psychoanalyze things and I had to really, really, really dissect shit when people say it to me. So I'm the type of person that a person say something to me and I'm psychoanalyzing that shit right off the top. Dudes are talking to me, man, telling me some shit. And I'm talking to a dude. I never will forget. I was in Rochester, New York, talking to a young dude from 60s. Well, he said he was from 60s up there. I'm talking to the dude, man, and you dude got a blue rag in his pocket. I stopped him. I had to stop him and talk to him. Hey, man, you know, y'all Crips? Where y'all from? You know what I mean? I'm confused as fuck. This is when I was a kid growing up. My father always threatened to send me back to Rochester. You know what I mean? We was getting. I got 3 brothers. I'm one of the younger brothers. My oldest brother is like 57. I think he's 57. Then I got a brother a year younger than him. Then I got a younger brother that's 4 years younger than me. Okay. But all of us are from the same set. All of us rolling 20 neighborhood Bloods. All of us, right? So my father used to always threaten to send me back to Rochester, right? And he'd be like, you know what I mean? I don't want to go nowhere because I don't want to leave the set. I don't leave the hood, right? Funny thing was when I finally went to Rochester, I seen these motherfuckers trying to act more hood than we was. You know what I mean? And the cold thing about it was that I'm meeting these dudes out here. I'm talking to this young dude, and I said, man, you from where? He's from 60s. I'm asking him, I said, okay, you know, I'm expecting him to tell me some shit like Crenshaw and motherfucking Sloss and Brian Hurst. Some shit, you know what I mean? Some shit I recognize from LA, right? Right. And he telling me, well, you know, I'm from 60, so my daddy was a 60 and this and this and that. Well, okay, where your daddy? Your daddy from 60 from where? This motherfucker tell me his daddy from Alabama. I'm like, what the fuck? See,
about Rochester, man. How was it? I haven't been you know, when I was in the pen and everything, that's when I used to be around a lot of Rochester dudes. That's, you know, that's when I learned that, you know, it's pretty much like pretty wild up in Rochester, man. I ain't been keeping up in it, but how it is right now, do you know?
No, I haven't been. I ain't been back there since last time I went to Rochester. 2016, I went back. Right. I'm planning to take a trip back before the end of the year, but shit, it's always the same. Shit, it's just the same. Motherfuckers, it's different to me. I'm gonna tell you what's different to me. What's different to me? Because when you go out there, people can stand around on corners. In LA, you can't stand around on corners. Right. In LA, you get it's a health and safety code. You can't stand on corners and block sidewalks and shit like that in LA, because this is the thing about why you can't do that and why it's a health and safety hazard. Because gang members draw bullets and you endanger the general public. So we can't stand on a corner and be deep on the corner because we'll endanger the people. So we got to go somewhere like the park. We got to go somewhere, you know what I mean, out of the way where we can actually be, because we can be in the park. You see what I'm saying? As long as it's not a doggone it, I forgot what they call that. It's like
meeting.
Huh? What's the word you said?
Meeting.
No. It's if you got up to so many people, you got to have a permit. But if you got that many people without a permit, it's called damn, I can't think of what it's called. It's disorderly. It's something. It's a word they use. But anyway, if you got that many people, but you can't stand on corners in LA like that. You know what I mean? Plus, you don't want to be standing on a corner in LA anyway, because motherfuckers will drive by and shoot you up. They just had some shootings last night in LA. They had some shootings last night in LA. They had a shooting. 5 people got hit. Where was that at? 119th and Berrindo. They had 5 people that got hit on 119th and Berrindo last night. And then they had the police killed somebody on 109th and Budlong last night also.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? It's hey man, it be going down out. LA's a big city, man. You know what I'm saying? LA's a really big city, man, and it's a lot. See, I know New York is a big city, but New York, the way it's constructed,
not land wise, we not big at all. Not land wise.
right? I was about to say that LA's laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Our county is probably the size of New Jersey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Our county is probably the size of New Jersey. You know what I mean? I gotta give Brazy a shout out, man. Brazy just hit me up. Shout out to Brazy.
Yeah, I gotta give a couple of shout outs too. There's a couple of people that been donating. I don't remember everybody that donated, but shout out to everybody that been donating. You know, I just been really into it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to cut them off and give everybody a shout out, but I apologize whoever feels slated in some type of way and everything. But I also want to shout out Lady from tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Also want to shout out 183rd, you know what I'm saying? BZ, you know what I mean? I wanted to shout out the Wrong Kind East Podcast also, you know what I mean? Just wanted to shout them 2 people out. Also, well, 3 people out, you know what I'm saying? Also Lady, you know what I mean? Speaking of ladies, I gotta get mine's up, but she gotta get ready to go to work. Yeah.
But yeah, like I say though, man, it's the shit, man. Like I say, man, we're in a position right now, man, for solution-based conversations and building bridges and building relationships, man. We got to take advantage of those opportunities, man, because of the fact that in order for the propaganda and all the bullshit to be knocked out of the air, and for all of the myths and all that extra shit that motherfuckers be talking about, the thing about all of that basically is the fact that we have to be in a position to where there's a factualization within this here to where we can actually get to the facts of it all. And then at the same time, rather than sit back and capitalize on the problems, you know what I mean? We spend, because people spend a lot of time working on problems, man. It's like a car breaking down. And my thing with like that is like, if my car break down, I could take it to a mechanic. Don't tell me what's wrong with the motherfucker. Fix it. You understand what I mean? It might take a week for me to figure out what you're saying. Just fix it. I just want it to run. Same type of situation when we figuring out our issues and our problems. We have to be in positions of understanding to the point to where we got to be able to figure out what we doing and do what we need to do to get shit done right. You know what I mean? We need to be building on a bigger movement. You know what I mean? Because blood is a movement. You know what I mean? I've invested so much of my life in this shit. I don't even see it to be a gang situation anymore. I see it to be just that. I see it to be a movement. And what we need to be doing is that we need to be building on this here so that we ourselves have some kind of platform that we can capitalize on later on. And when something happens to a black person, whether it be the police with their motherfucking knee on their neck, you see what I'm saying? Whether it be the white lady in the park calling the motherfucking police saying a black man threatening her life because she's abusing a dog, whether it be a motherfucker jogging down the street in Georgia, getting chased down by 2 white men, or a black EMT worker in her bed sleeping, the police breaking her house and kill her. Mm-hmm. We need to be in position to where we capable of mobilizing and getting on top of shit like that right there, and figuring out what we need to do in order to play our positions. Because it does go back to what you said about being the vanguard of the community. Mm-hmm. And that is what we need to be doing, to be the vanguard of the community. And the cool thing about this is that we not just nationwide, we worldwide. Within a couple phone calls, a motherfucker mobilize shit, hundreds of motherfuckers just like that. You know what I mean? Get down there, check out what's going on, do whatever y'all need to do. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. We need to be literally working on a movement, man, because of the fact that this is too, everybody capitalize on the dumb shit. Everybody want to kill each other. Everybody want to hurt each other, homie. We got to work on living. We got to work on trying to survive. We got to work on putting shit in perspective to the point to where, at least, man, we got to be for the proliferation of life, because the reality of this is that in the future, we're going to fuck around and be extinct. And ain't nobody going to be responsible for it but us. You know what I mean? And won't nobody be responsible for black people being extinct but other black people. There have been more murders in Los Angeles due to the gang situation than there were in Vietnam. And the murders in LA were black people killed by black people. You know what I mean? We talk about gentrification and we talk about how people are moving out of the communities, right? But this is the cold thing about gentrification, about people moving out of the communities. The cold thing about that is we are responsible for moving the people out because of the fact that how can you live in a community in peace when we killing motherfuckers on your doorstep?
Yeah.
You coming home with groceries and it's a motherfucker driving by in a car and he firing shots at us and we standing in front of the house right next door. You understand what I mean? So we got to take some accountability to this here, but at the same time, we need to be working on creating a greater movement. You know what I'm saying? And I say that on a nationwide level because of the fact that we have the ability, we got the manpower. You understand what I mean? We just have to come up with the ideologies. Just like I said earlier about just having the ability to vote. See, people coming together in numbers like that and demonstrate that, that's something that they've never seen before. So you know automatically that right there is something that's gonna blow people's minds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, though, man, I don't want to sit here and talk too much because I know I've been on there talking for a long time.
Listen, man, there was a lot of substance, great content. I mean, I got a couple of pointers. Somebody said, "Yeah, Mel sucking up game." I'm just listening because I love it, and we definitely have a lot of the same views. And it's ironic how we somewhat connected, man. And I definitely want to stay in contact with you. I want to look towards, you know what I'm saying, us doing something where, you know what I'm saying, we can bridge these gaps and further just build some type of economic, you know what I'm saying, for the people and, you know, just
go
from there, you know what I mean?
Just you can go to Facebook, man. My page on Facebook, Madd Ronald Radio Network Podcast. That's my page right there. You can reach me through there.
Okay.
That's my Facebook page. But I check that all the time. You know what I'm saying? You can you can reach me through their inbox and everything. You can reach me through there, man. I check that on a regular basis. You know what I mean? And also I got my podcast, Madd Ronald Radio Network, www.maddronaldradio.net. That's my actual podcast, and that's my website. You know what I mean?
And got a lot of wisdom, as y'all can see. You could definitely learn a lot. You know, I could imagine what he was been through, the man he was, and look what he is today. They giving back to the community. I definitely follow that mantra. Definitely peace and blessings to you and your families in the set. You know what I'm saying? You know, east to west, west to east. You got anything else to say? We could definitely conclude it.
Well, y'all can follow me at like I said, y'all can follow me at maddronaldradio.net. Also, y'all can find me on Facebook at the Madd Ronald Radio Network Podcast. Also, I'm on Instagram at Madd_Ronald_Rolling. Hit me up, man. You know what I mean? I'm always open to build, man. So you know what I'm saying? I'm always open to build, man. I mean, in reality, they say young men are for war, old men are for wisdom. Hey, man, I don't know which one I am right now, but at the same time, you know what I mean?
Chameleon, man, chameleon.
So, hey, man, y'all can find, that's where y'all can find me at, man. I wish everybody health, wealth, peace, and prosperity, man. You know what I mean? Everybody, y'all be safe, man. For sure. All right.
Felisa Cortez, I want to appreciate you. You've been awesome. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for keeping my Cash App out there, showing people. Thank you for the support. Everybody that's been tuned in always, you know what I'm saying? Definitely thank you for the support. I appreciate y'all. There's a lot of people that donated. I definitely apologize. I sincerely apologize. All those that donate, could you please just make a comment, whatever, because I'm about to end this because I got to make sure, you know, my wife get ready to leave and everything. She's okay and everything. So about the next half an hour, 45 minutes, I'll come back on and I'm definitely give y'all a shout out. You know what I'm saying? I definitely apologize. We was into, you know, I was really into the, you know, to what we had going on. And I want to speak about that after this. So give me about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to come back on live. Everybody that donated, please, you know, comment and everything so I can give y'all a shout out on next live. I apologize for that. I just didn't want to, you know, confuse them, make them lose his train of thought or stop him from speaking. So I apologize for that. You know, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to Kross TV Network. Now, as y'all know, the real is back. And I'm going to always give y'all some real food thinking, you know what I'm saying, some real content, man. And we're going to get through all this all. And definitely salute to you and your families, and I hope everybody's safe. Peace.